It's a terrible football show. What do you expect?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Just in my brain, it just makes so much sense.
OH!
Oh, baby,
go.
yeah!
You have no quarterback. You're going to need some punters.
Welcome to a terrible football show.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man. Ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
Alex,
What up?
you can thoroughly kiss my ass.
If it's Toledo, I'm drawing the best damn rocket there is out there.
Now that's gonna look like a dildo.
I told my HR director
Seven.
about this show. He's going to listen to it.
They draft Xavier Worthy. What the fuck? Wide receiver from Texas.
Fucking hamster.
It's a hamster mixed in with a sheep.
The Buffalo Hamsters have traded.
Listen, guys, this is a terrible football show where everybody may be good at nothing, but we are terrible at everything.
That's facts. That's a clip for the intro.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
That's a clip for the intro, baby. Yeah, he's successful at just giving his terrible opinions, so why can't I? Terrible football show, after all. Welcome to a terrible football show. It is April 8th, 2025. This is episode 100 something. I don't know what. 122 maybe. 21. I don't know. But we're here. We got a few of the boys here to kick off today's show. Let's go around the room. Jacob, buddy. Our Ohio fuck. How are you doing?
Doing great. It's been a glorious, very, very cold day today outside. Let me tell you, I woke up this morning and did not want to go to work because of it.
Ah, one of those days. Yeah.
Yep.
It's getting warmer over here for us after a weekend of really crappy storms and lost power for a little bit. So shout out to that. It was a time. A lot of down lines here in the area. It's great. A lot of flooding. It's cool. Weather's warming up though, so that's the plus. Shane, buddy, how you doing?
Pretty good. The 4 days of torrential downpours and tornadoes, sucked.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my sliding door to my room, that goes to the backyard, the seal broke.
Oh,
the
no.
water seal broke.
Oh no.
So like within like 3 feet of the door is just drenched.
Oh
It is-
no.
It is horrendous.
That
It's
would
bad.
like just irk my brain to a whole different level, knowing that there was something like that. And
Oh,
Do you need a repairman? You can hire me.
Oh, there you go.
No, I mean, sure. You want to spend, I don't know, 2 days doing it, and then also moving down here. Cool.
Yeah, I
Okay.
bet. All right, let's go. All right. Cooking. All right, Tyler joined right before we started, so I haven't got to talk to him yet. Tyler, are you there? Can you speak with your Sam Darnold profile picture? I'm going to take that as a no. He's still rocking mute. I'm waiting to see it come unmute. I ain't seeing it. I don't think he's here. I don't think he's rocking it. He might just be hanging out and listening. That's my guess. And I don't know if he's messaging me either. No, he's not. So I don't know what Tyler's doing, but Tyler's here and maybe he'll chime in. So shout out to that. No, shout out to today's show. We're going to have some fun topics. It is draft time, so we got some draft-related topics to go over, plus some other things kind of happening here or there, including some really stupid shit happening with a couple of our teams here on the show. So shout out to that. Can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to go over everything, as well as the next couple weeks. We have a lot of draft stuff coming up. With next week, we will be doing our group mock draft that we did last year. We'll each be assigned X amount of teams, go through the draft order, and basically select the players as if we were the GMs. It was a lot of fun and very chaotic last year. Lamar Jackson got traded from the Ravens. There was a lot of crazy trades and a lot of crazy picks. Going to try not to go crazy with it, but we're still going to have fun. Then the week after that on Tuesday, we will be live that Tuesday to do our one legitimate solo mock draft. Then, of course, we will be live Thursday for the draft, as we always are, and it's going to be incredible. Can't wait. I think the song just ended. Yep, just ended. Perfect.
Perfect.
I will do my best to shout out some sponsors in today's show. Shout out to the Patreon. Check it out if you want to support us further. We'd appreciate that. Shout out to our 2-2 patron. Hannah, we appreciate you. Join the Discord, be a friend. Tell a friend. All right, boys. Before we start going through the topics I got lined up for the day, not many. I got 4 main topics for today. Going to try to keep up. Now, Tyler.
You gotta ship him out, dude.
Tyler.
You gotta ship him.
Tyler. For context, for people that is listening or not fully understanding the meme, He changed his profile picture to Malik Willis, and let's just say we have a history with Malik Willis. All right, there's a history. There's a history here with Malik Willis in this show.
Hey, actually, we may want to get that off of there because we don't want that coming back. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right, Tyler. We may want to get that off the screen there, buddy. Oh Lord, we don't want to get in trouble. Let's see if I can like pull up an image of some capacity. Let's see. Oh yeah, Agent Inc. Pull out the Agent Inc. thing. Let me reduce this down. Oh crap, I lost it. I got it back. Right
No,
there.
pull out his buffalo hamsters or whatever that.
See, I don't have an image saved of that, but I just pulled up the Agent Inc. and the merch store image. Let's see if I can also pull up the Rogue image too. We do a double sponsor thing here. Just slap that over his Malik Willis photo here. We don't want to get in trouble, you know. So Tyler, you know, you're still here. You know, you're still visible. You know, your block is here. People can see when you talk. But your nice little, you know, thing your nice little thing is not visible now. So shout out to that. Check out, see, sponsors. We got sponsors in the show for once.
Hey,
Tyler's helping, man.
out.
Getting the sponsors on the show. Shout out Tyler. What a legend. All right, boys. Anything you guys want to shout out before we start running through the topics we got here for today?
Nope. Ready to get at it.
No.
All right, bet. Let's do it. Yeah, so today's episode will be a similar format as last week. So we have the 4 topics. I'm going to throw them out there to the boys, and they just give their great or terrible opinions, and I'll give them points, and we'll see who's going to come out on top at the end of the show. Last week, the first time doing this was Shane the winner. Also want to go ahead and establish that, like, going forward, like especially as we get into the meat and potatoes of the season, we're going to try a lot of different formats of the shows. We're going to maybe go on like a cycle kind of thing where some weeks we're doing this, some weeks we're doing this, have a chill episode. We're going to have fun with it, and this is going to be one of the things that's probably going to be a mainstay for the future. Don't know an official name yet, kind of leaning towards Flea Flicker. So this is the second Flea Flicker segment, pending name. We'll do that. Flea Flicker, pending name, the second segment. Cool. April 8th.
Pending copyright.
Pending copyright. I got to copyright this. Correct. The ATFS Flea Flicker. You know, there you go. So shout out. All right. Let's jump into it, boys. So the main topic for today, and feel free to, you know, kind of really dive into this because there's a lot to talk about with this. It is draft related. It's draft season. Let's talk the draft, and it is involving the QBs of the draft. Most important position in football. Debatable. Shout out to the offensive line, but most important position in football. Right. A lot of conversation around this in a lot of different ways. So to kick things off with it, Cam Ward is a lock. All right. No one, like, when it comes time for solo mocks, if I see anyone else put someone else but Cam at number 1, I'm going to slap you. I'm going to slap you right through the Discord, Cam. Because it's done. It's locked in. They have canceled workouts with other prospects. They canceled Shadir's workout, right? It's over. It's Cam Ward. You know, the owner of the Titans met Cam personally. So Cam Ward, unfortunately for him, a Tennessee Titan. All right, that's locked in. With that,
fans too.
Do what now?
Fortunately for the fans too.
Whoa, relax. That's my guy. Shout out to the U for the 1 year he was there. But there also with that, there's also the report that the Browns and the Giants will not force a QB pick, and they could be looking at Carter and Hunter, both in play for that second and third pick. So the question is, lots of questions, honestly, is where is Sanders going to land as the second most notable, not best. Don't spear me now. I said notable. Second most notable QB prospect of this draft. Where is he going to go? Where's Jackson Dart going to go? Because he's rising up a lot of draft boards. I've seen him go as high as somewhere in the top 10 on some mocks. And then even Jalen Milroe is kind of rising up the board a little bit. He even invited an invitation to the draft to come around, night 1 in Green Bay. So I shout out to that. That was a decision. My big questions, is this draft all smoke? Is this about to be a Kenny 2.0 draft that almost had Malik Willis going as high as number 2? And obviously we ended with Kenny Pickett at 20 and the next guy in the 3rd round. Is this draft all smoke? Where will some of these guys land? And will a team get desperate? And what team will get desperate? Lots of questions answered however you want. Jacob, kick us off.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of desperation when it comes to the quarterback position this year because, I mean, yes, there is some great talent in this draft as far as quarterbacks are concerned. I don't think that the owners or the GMs view this talent pool very deeply. I think once you get outside of the top 3, Cam Ward, Shadir Sanders, Jackson Dart, it starts to really dip down big time. Now, like you said, Jalen Milroe, he's going up. I have seen, and John Gruden, the quarterback camp, Will Howard is skyrocketing on people's draft boards as well. They're labeling him as the next Josh Allen with
Seen
his
that.
arm and how he, is poised on the field, off the field, the leadership, the personality, whatever. But yeah, no, I think this draft is going to be all smoke and mirrors as far as the quarterback position is concerned, just because there's not that much hype around the quarterback position this year outside of the names that I already said.
Okay, so how many guys do you think could end up going in the first?
2.
Okay, so just Ward and Sanders then, or do you have Sanders slipping?
I have Sanders slipping.
Oh, okay. Well, who else you got going in the first then?
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. Okay, all right. How high are you on Jackson Dart? Where is he going in this draft? Give me a range.
About 15.
About 15. Someone in that 15 range.
Yep.
So what you're telling me is Jalen Milroe is wasting his time going to the draft night 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, nah, totally. I saw that. That he accepted it, and I'm just like, buddy, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You're not going. You're not going, man. Okay, all right. Hey, Shane, what about you, dude? How are you feeling on this draft right now? Like all the questions I asked, is there a lot of smoke? Do you think that team's going to get desperate? Who could be the desperate ones? Obviously everyone shunned me on the Jackson Dart thing last week. How are we feeling on this draft with the QBs?
I think it's an absolute Batman smokescreen.
Oh,
okay. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right.
I think these guys have high grades on these players, on these quarterbacks. But again, I think they're playing it smart. Because why not go get a Travis Hunter? Why not go get a Mason Graham? Why not go get an Abdul Carter, an Aston Genty? Somebody like that that's going to help the overall team, especially if you do get a player like Abdul Carter. He's probably going to be he's for sure a Pro Bowler. The potential with him is outrageous. I mean, you've got Will Campbell, probably the best tackle in the draft right now. Why not go get a player like that? Throw some smoke screens like, hey, we're going to be picking this guy. We're going to be picking this guy because this guy's so good. This guy's so good. But then turn around and not pick him and have these quarterbacks fall to the, late first round, early second, sometime in the second round, to where a team like the Browns could end up getting something like, I don't know, Travis Hunter and Shedeur. Like, why not do that? I mean, that's literally something out of Draft Day, the movie type stuff,
right?
Where they can just try and pull the ultimate scheme over on these other GMs.
Shout out to the Draft Day movie. I'm glad the Draft Day movie made it into the show.
It's a good movie.
And with the Browns, by the way.
Yeah, with the Browns, too.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. What a perfect tie-in. Now, it does feel like there's a lot of smoke screens. Like, everyone keeps talking about, like, oh, where's, Sanders going to land and stuff like that. Oh, like, is Jackson going to make it to the first? Jalen, accepted the invitation to come the night 1 and all that. And people are saying, oh, Jalen's going to go higher than you think and stuff. It's like, we heard this same thing with the Pickett draft, where I was like, Pickett's going high. Malik's could go as high as the Lions. Desmond Ridder in the first. Matt Corral, who went in the 7th round, going at the end of the first. Like this was a lot of legitimate mock drafts out there that were projecting this, right? So I personally can't help but to feel like this is like a Kenny draft 2.0. And when I say that, I actually mean it from a talent perspective as well. I don't think we're going to get any superstars out of this draft, personally. There's a lot of guys I like. There's guys that are going to be good players, but I don't see a superstar in this draft. I'm sorry, but I don't. It's unfortunate because it's got a guy from the U coming up in here. Cam's a dog. Would like to see Sanders succeed. I would, personally. Maybe you guys wouldn't. I would. Jackson Dart would like to see that. Will Howard as well. But it's like, it always comes back to like right situation stuff. Where are these guys going to end up in the right situation? But it does feel like smoke screens because it's like this draft class is really deep in a few different positions. Like offensive line is one. So it's like what Shane was just saying. Why not build up in other positions and just kind of wait, because you'll probably get a QB in another round. So I'm gonna try to throw this to you, Tyler. Are you here, or are you just kicking back and listening? Can you throw in some points here? Because if I had to guess, he's still at work right now. He's in a cooler right now, and he's just hanging out to listen. That's my guess of what's happening. I don't think he's here. Tyler, are you here? That's gonna be a no. That's gonna be a no. He is not here. He is-
I will say, like this quarterback pool, like just the names alone, all of these guys have been successful in their college careers.
right.
In their own right. Like some, yes, have won national championships, some have been to the playoffs, some have, just won conference championships or whatnot. So you take a look at the names on here and you think, oh, well, this guy was successful. He could be a superstar, or this guy could be a superstar. But I'm with you, Alex. I don't really see like a superstar X factor like on Madden talent here.
Yeah.
I see a lot of gold cards, potentially, but I don't see that X factor.
Yeah, I will agree. I think we did this last year during the draft, and I think we'll probably do it again. I think last year we said there's probably maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 Hall of Famers in that class. I don't see any of that here. Now, I do see a player like Abdul Carter. He could be a multiple-time Pro Bowler. He could probably be, Defensive Player of the Year. He could probably lead the league in sacks, here and there. He can probably put up some big numbers, but I don't think we're going to see anybody with a true Hall of Fame career. And really, like, any of these quarterbacks are not going to be in that kind of conversation either. And I was kind of want to build on that first thing with the quarterbacks real quick with, again, I don't ever, it's very rare for me personally to want a quarterback in the first round, me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't have any of these quarterbacks rated in, don't get me wrong. I don't have any scout expertise or anything like that. Just in my personal opinion, I don't think any quarterbacks could go in the first round. But the thing is, like, once you get towards the back end of the second into the third round, that's where a lot of these quarterbacks should go, right? Because I have the same grade on a Jackson Dart that I do on a Cam Ward. I mean, of course, I have Jackson Dart above everybody, but I mean, they're right there next to each other. So that was my biggest thing with the whole draft class, is that I'm really tired of not only franchises ruining their franchise by taking these guys and throwing them in, week 3. I'm like, hey, go be our guy, go be our Tom Brady. When ideally nowadays, the difference in the college game to the pro game is so different, not only in schematics, but with talent, because, I mean, everybody knows you can be the best of the best on your team or in your conference in college, but you go to pro and you're playing those players, the best of their best, every single week. I mean, you're having guys that are defensive linemen, 300 pounds plus, running 4.8s. I mean, it's a different game.
Yeah, it really is. It's the elite of the elite. You know what I mean? Like, even the worst player on an NFL team was once an elite of the elite. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. It's kind of crazy to think about, but it's just for the most part, that's facts. All right. So with all the quarterback conversation of like how this shit's gonna go, because there's so much happening right now. There's legitimately okay. I keep seeing him change it over and over again, and I do know what he's doing. He is, in fact, like in a cooler right now. I'm shocked it's even maintained connection for him to stay in the call. But he said he has not heard us at all since we mentioned Sam Darnold. It was the last time he heard us. So it's been a minute. He is in a cooler right now working. I'm shocked he's still in the call. I'm shocked that it's allowed him. But anyway, so as I was trying to stall as I pulled up for my question here. So for the smoke screen and where some players could potentially go kind of thing, who in this first round, give me some exact numbers here. So pull up the draft order, whatever you guys got to do. Who in this draft, who in this first round, could shout out first time in a long time? All 32 teams have their first round pick, so that's pretty cool. Where could some of these outliers go? Like, whether if it be Sanders or Dart, or maybe both of them, where could they go, in you guys' opinion, in this first round? Jacob, let's start with you.
Well, if you look obviously past like the top 5, you immediately go to number 7, the Jets. They need a quarterback. outside of that, I mean, you don't really start getting into a potential quarterback scenario until around the 15th spot. And even then, they're going to be backups. Man, the only team that I could desperately see wanting to get a quarterback that early with this type of talent pool that we have is the Jets. I think people have found not necessarily their answers right away, but at least serviceable people to get to the better draft class that's going to be next year.
Okay. All right. So there's no one else that you can see making a swing.
Miami.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Miami at 13, moving on from Tua, even with that big contract.
Not moving on. It's a fail-safe plan.
Fail safe at 13, though. I don't know.
Yep.
I feel like Miami is one that could. I think you could be in the right track of mine, but not first. You know what I mean? Second round, I could see kind of like when Eagles got Jalen. You know what I mean? I could see something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see something like that. But first, I feel like Miami would just build what they got because I mean they're about to trade Tyreek Hill from any day now, so they need to build some other stuff up right now. I like the thought though. I like the thought like a round 2 quarterback Miami pick. I like that. That's actually pretty sweet. I'm down for that. Shane, what about you, man? Well, how are you feeling on this draft order? Where are some potential teams to watch for?
I think outside of the top 5, right, where we already know there's some quarterback holes there. I think if it goes the way I think it will, you will see Cam Ward go number 1 to the Titans. And I don't think there will be another spot until I agree 7 inside of the top 10 or 9 with the Saints. But honestly, I don't think they even grab a quarterback. I don't see it. So then moving on, I disagree with Jacob with the Miami. I think if they're going to grab a quarterback to get ready for the future after Tua, it's going to be next year, if anything. Or they're going to try and get somebody next year through free agency or a trade, or if Tua gets hurt or whatever it may be. But other than that, man, I don't see anything until 18 with the Seahawks, or honestly 21 with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Steelers is the big one, yeah.
I think if quarterbacks fall out of the top 10, those are the 2 spots that you really need to be looking at. 21 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 18 with the Seattle Seahawks. And for some reason, if those 2 teams don't grab quarterbacks, you're not seeing anything until maybe 26 with the Rams, maybe. Other than that, if the Rams don't grab anything at 6, you're going to be into the second round before another quarterback is taken.
Am I wrong in the thinking that maybe, just maybe, the Lions might be interested in a quarterback in this draft?
No way.
No, I think that's absurd. They are not.
I think Jared Goff has got them to the point of where he hit his ceiling.
Yeah, but now
I mean, I don't know about that one.
I think Jared Goff, you may be right. He hit his ceiling in talent. But the thing is, if he stays consistent and no injuries happen, or not, I wouldn't say no injuries because that's never going to happen. Okay.
Less injuries than they had last year.
If they have less injuries than they did last year, that team's in the Super Bowl.
True.
I think they beat the Eagles.
Here's a prediction.
Okay.
Here's a prediction.
All right.
The Lions will pick a quarterback in this draft, not in the first round,
Okay.
the second round,
Okay.
third round. And it's going to be Will Howard.
Okay. I like that prediction. Where's your board? You need to put on the board. Put in your notes. I want that on the board. Let's go.
Dan Campbell. I think Will Howard is a Dan Campbell type of guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's my favorite part about doing mock drafts is looking like when you look at the Lions specifically, you're not looking for what they need. You're just looking who's a Dan Campbell guy. Because
absolutely.
That's who they're going to go for. And I was on point with it last year, not the right round, but that cornerback from Mizzou, Enos, I was dead ass. That is a Dan Campbell guy. I thought he'd go first. He went second. So I was close enough. That is a Dan Campbell guy if I've ever seen one. Let's go. All right, I got some stuff that you guys can piggyback off of here. Because shout out in the comments, we have a returning viewer. Shout out to Kirito MVP 11 is back once again. And as per the normal Kirito opinions, we're talking some Bama stuff. Still draft related. We're talking Jalen Milroe. So he's saying that Jalen Milroe looks like he'll either be going to the Las Vegas Raiders, the Rams, Steelers, the Lions, Ravens, Eagles are the only teams that have been kind of interested in some capacity. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean first round. Let's pump the brakes, guys. Like, I know he's invited, but let's be honest. That doesn't mean first round. But what do you guys think about any of those teams? Because some of those seem legitimate. I could see a Rams second-round QB pick. I could see a Steelers desperation first-round pick because look at their roster. I could see any of these in later rounds. What do you guys think?
I personally see him fitting very well with Mike Tomlin.
Jalen in
With Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, honestly, if anybody could fix, what Jalen Milroe lacks in, it's Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
For Las Vegas.
Yep. I'll tell you guys, I'm big on the idea of Vegas getting a quarterback this draft. I'm telling you right now, I'm very big on the idea of it. Even if it's that 6th pick, I could see it happening. I really could.
I don't see them going Milroe, though.
Not Milroe.
I really
no.
don't.
If they would draft someone at 6, it's going to be Sanders, right? Tom Brady's a big fan of Sanders. He's worked out with him. So that's going to be an ownership play. But that's not who I think's going at 6. I'm very personally hard set on who's going at 6 for the Raiders. I have been on every test mock draft I've done. I've had the same pick every damn time on who I've got going there. But it's something that if it happened, would it surprise me? The answer is no. Shane, what about you? What's your take on any of these possibilities for Jalen? Who do you see being a good fit for Jalen?
Man, it's tough because everything that Jalen can do right? Running, of course, extending the plays out of the pocket, throwing downfield, that's his go-tos, his strengths of his game.
Yep.
But where he lacks is where NFL quarterbacks make their money. Throws 10 to 20, throws 5 to 15. That's where you make your money as a quarterback in the NFL.
That's true.
Jalen Milroe cannot do that. So, like Kirito said, he is going to be a sit-down type of guy.
Yep.
Hey, let's work on your fundamentals. Let's work on your throwing motion. Let's get some things changed before we throw you in there. I will agree. I think Pete Carroll in Las Vegas is a good spot for him. But on the flip side, I think the Rams would be a good spot. Why not sit behind Matthew Stafford and with their coach they got and learn from them, right? That's one of the best spots he could possibly land. And I don't think it's going to be within the first round. I think Jalen Milroe is a 4th round guy at earliest. But my 2 spots would be the Rams or Raiders.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that.
Honestly envision him being in a Steelers uniform. Like, I could see it.
Can work it, right?
I just don't understand why the Steelers would take a chance on Jalen Milroe, even to breed him for the future, right? When they had
though.
I mean, I understand that, but they already had a polished version of Jalen Milroe and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Why get rid of a polished version for a rusty version that's going to take longer to develop? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't think Jalen Milroe will go to the Steelers for that reason.
Okay, I like that.
I do too. I can't stand the Steelers getting rid of Justin Fields.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. That's a damn good point. Steelers is going to be the interesting to watch there in the first round, right? Like, how desperate are they going to get? You know what I mean? Because they're in a rough spot right now at quarterback. So theirs is going to be the interesting to watch. Shout out! I did see a report. Sanders is set to visit Pittsburgh, so that's to be an interesting one to watch as well. So. In terms of QB draft stuff, Does anyone want to give last words? Because if not, we're moving on to the next one.
Nope.
All right.
I will say one. I will think there will be a reach for a quarterback.
I agree.
I think a team in the teens will reach for kind of
Someone
like
will get desperate.
what supposedly Denver did last year at 12 for Bo Nix. I think you will see something like that. You'll probably get a second round graded quarterback, third round graded quarterback, go into the teens, and yeah, I guarantee.
I love that the fact that those people ate their words though with Bo, because
Right.
Hey,
it was one hell of a
offensive
good
rookie of the
reach
year, baby.
in my opinion.
Right.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, they had to make that call. They didn't have a second round pick. They didn't have a pick till like late into the third. You had to make that. You had to make it, right?
Oh yeah, because he would have been off the board by then.
Yeah. Late third, he'd have been gone. Whether it had been second round or third round, he would have been gone. But obviously, went as high as he did. So shout out to Bo. All right, so to make sure that I don't forget anything, we're gonna do an ad read, boys. I'm gonna do one right now. I got you.
Wow.
I know. Let's do some Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below. Use promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. If they have a better sale going on, that's all good. Don't use our promo code. Just use the referral link, and you're still helping out the brand. I know over the weekend they had a BOGO 50 code. Buy a tub and get 50% off. Not sure if that's still active, but maybe give it a shot. See if it is. I'm sure they're advertising them on the site. Something like that would work on hydration, chill, or energy. And our promo code will work on all lines, including the canned energy, which the Black Cherry Lemonade is incredible, and you should buy it. Use the referral link down below. Look at us, ATFS, doing an ad read. Hot damn. Year of growth.
I read that dragon fruit lemonade energy, by the way.
Oh, the lemonade one.
Chef's kiss.
I want it so bad.
It's so good.
Because dude, like because I have it on the slide. Yeah, the dragon fruit mango hydration, that is unbelievable. So whenever I saw that he's gone, but I'm gonna still keep rolling. That the energy line was getting a lemonade version, bruh, cooks, absolute cooks. So absolute cooking. Yeah, and shout out to Tyler. So I want you to know, I gotta take a screenshot of this. I gotta send it to Tyler. Tyler keeps changing his profile picture, just kind of shits the gigs while he's working in a cooler.
Yeah, no, I've been watching him.
It's funny, but in my messages with him, I have every profile picture that he's had over the last few minutes based on when he messages me. So I'm seeing up here a Sam Darnold, then I'm seeing long neck, then I'm seeing the Coke, and now I'm seeing Hawaii. I'm seeing, thankfully, no Malik Willis. He didn't message me when he had Malik Willis. I don't need to see that. But
did you see the Steve one?
The Steve one?
He said he had one that said Steve on there.
Oh, he did, and he also had No Diddy. I saw that too.
Yep.
Yeah. He didn't message me on those, so I don't have those. But it's just a slew of different profile pictures that I've got going on right now in our messages.
My computer shut off and it's restarting right now.
Did it overheat?
No, it didn't. It's 40 degrees outside.
Oh, that's right.
Overheated.
Right. That's right. Well, I mean, you got your phone. You can comment. So you ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to stay in the vein of quarterback conversation because there's a couple things that we can hit on. There are three main ones in my opinion, right? And the first one is another week has passed, and that means another week of no news on Aaron Rodgers signing with anyone, signing with the Steelers, which is pretty much the only spot at this point. We're now another week, and there has been no news on if anything's going to happen with Kirk Cousins. Atlanta seems to be like, no, he's our backup, and obviously Kirk O is not down for that, and rightfully so. Give him a chance to go play somewhere. And then the Browns Browns have already been a hot topic conversation for a quarterback in this whole draft cycle. It came out and basically said, and he said that, Deshaun Watson was a big swing and a miss, which I think we can all agree. So now the conversation points are, is Aaron Rodgers going to sign? When the hell are we doing it? Because we are we're 2 weeks away from the draft. Is Kirk Cousins about to get traded mid-draft? Let's say once upon a time, Carson Palmer did from the Bengals to the Raiders. And Deshaun Watson, did we see the last down of Deshaun Watson's career? Is he done? Shane, you want to kick us off?
I will, because I felt kind of proud of myself because the Wednesday after our show last week, I was doing some work on my computer, and I tuned into, I think, Good Morning Football. And I think it was either Marcus Spears or it could have been Orlovsky. I could be wrong which one it was. But they stated the exact same thing that I stated here on the show. That even though people around the league are saying that the Aaron Rodgers to Minnesota thing is over with, that it is not over with until he is on a different team. I think he is completely holding out until the absolute last thing, until he is on another team via trade or something like that. I think that's where he wants to be. Not just because of the whole Favre thing, which it would be cool, don't get me wrong, but I think that is just the best team for him to be on right now. I understand JJ may be the guy, but he's coming off a rookie year where he spent it hurt, which is great for mental reps, right? He can go through VR all he wants. He can be in meeting rooms all he wants. No one really knows if he can play the NFL level until you're in uniform on a Sunday playing the game. But guess who can play on a Sunday? Aaron freaking Rodgers. Okay? That's part one. And then, honestly, I'll revert back. What was the second part of your question?
Kirk Cousins, where is he going to go? Is he going to be like a Carson Palmer and get traded mid-draft, similar to how he did when he was with the Bengals to the Raiders, the forgotten time with the Raiders that people tend to forget, as well as that whole Browns thing with Deshaun Watson. The Browns owner said that he was a big swing and a miss, which we can all agree. Is that what did we see the last down of Deshaun Watson's career? So yeah, Kirko and Deshaun.
Deshaun Watson, I think he's done. I think he's done with it. Unfortunately, after his injury and the debacle that happened with the Browns, unfortunately, I think his NFL career is done. I would like to see him play again just because of the talent that he had. But I think with the off-the-field issues, along with the injury, I don't think a team's going to want to take a chance.
Plus struggles. So let's be honest, he's not the same player he was in Houston. Like he is yet to show that flash.
So I mean, we've seen multiple players just not have any off-field issues, come in off an injury like that, not be the player and not play another down. So I think that on top of the off-field issues, I think he's done. As far as Kirk Cousins, I don't think he will be dealt at the draft.
Ooh.
I think if he's going to be dealt, it'll be after the draft, or they'll release him and let him go where he wants to go. I think you have to kind of give him the respect to do that, because at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think he's going to be too happy if he was to be shipped to like the Jets, So
yeah, okay. Jacob, what about you? What's your take on all this?
Keeping it short and sweet. Rodgers is going to the Steelers. I have a real sneaky suspicion about that. They are still potentially going to draft a quarterback in the first round,
which is
because
fair.
of that.
I think even Rodgers can admit that's fair.
I think Kurt is going to be a Brown. And bye-bye, Deshaun Watson. Get yourself out of the state of Ohio, please, and thank you.
Says someone from Ohio.
Hey, we don't need more. we don't need more controversy, man. We have enough of it.
Yeah, you're Ohio. That alone brings you some.
Exactly.
Like you're not as bad as Florida, but you're up there. You're top 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers, though, I think that's going to be the best fit. I don't see Minnesota taking a swing on him at all. I think they are full force into JJ McCarthy. I kind of like the fit of the Browns and Kirk Cousins.
Stefanski and
are they going to do anything? Huh?
Yeah, Stefanski and Kirko.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Are they going to do anything? Are they going to win a division title? Probably not. Are they going to make the playoffs? Probably not. But I like the matchup with them. And I already said my piece about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say with Deshaun, because even Kirito said he thinks Deshaun will play for someone else. I mean, it's always possible, but at the same time, I don't think it is, just from again, he hasn't shown any flash since, being out from the Texans, you know what I mean? And that whole suspension and everything. Like, he has not been the same player. So I think this injury is going to further derail that. Plus, if he did actually injure it again, which that was not on my bingo card for this offseason, I mean, I think he's done. I think Deshaun Watson's career is legitimately done. I'm going to give myself a point for that. Not really. No, I mean, it's interesting, with the current quarterbacks that are still floating, mostly with Rodgers and Kirko, because it's like, those are the last pieces of where are they going to fit into this whole puzzle. Is Rodgers going to ride off into the sunset? Where is Kirko going to get traded? I mean, it's kind of interesting to see how that's going to play.
Rodgers could always take a year off too, and see what
that
the
point, he's
status
done.
of everybody's next year.
Yeah, at that point, he's done. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
We would have seen the last Aaron Rodgers. I don't see that one happening because I don't see anyone being interested at that point, But you never know. I don't know. I think Pittsburgh and Aaron is a perfect fit. I really do. Get him in Pittsburgh. Still draft a quarterback with that 21st pick. Let him build behind Aaron. It worked out for the Packers. Let's rinse and repeat. So I think that's for the best for the couple quarterback homes. All right, two more topics to hit. This next one is the last football related one, and the other one is non-football related, and then we got a speed run of random shit. All right, so this one is just stupid. Part of it's very stupid. I just agonizingly, I want to beat my skull against the wall. This cedar wall behind me that's covered with a lot of jerseys. I want to beat my skull against that wall for the suggestion that news outlets are actually putting out there that, like, hey, this could be a thing. Shut up. So the next topic we got is involving Jacob's very own Cincinnati Bengals. And the whole stadium ordeal we got going on, where the Bengals could go anywhere they want here after this season. Their lease is about to be up. They're working on a new deal. They've been at the current stadium, which is Paycor, since they renamed it since the year 2000. And then it was almost like a rinse and repeat last time, trying to get that stadium built, which was, I think, like public tax funding. Jacob, am I right on that? So it's a situation now of their lease is about to be up. The Bengals could go anywhere, and the owner's daughter has teased they don't mind to uproot the Bengals, which is obviously a bargaining tactic, let's be honest. But at the same time, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen it. Let's look at the Rams in St. Louis. Let's look at the Chargers in San Diego, the Raiders in Oakland. Like, it wouldn't be the first. I mean, heck, the Raiders once upon a time in Los Angeles, right? And, the Cardinals from St. Louis to Arizona. Like, it's happened multiple times, right? So it's always possible. So the multi-questions I have is, one, how possible is it the Bengals are actually going to leave Cincinnati? And if they did, where could be possible homes? And the second part that's stupid as hell is, what are you guys' thoughts on this unbelievably ridiculous suggestion that news outlets are putting out there as like, hey, this could happen, is the Bears and the Bengals come together for a joint stadium venture in some capacity? Jacob, you're the Bengals guy. Kick us off.
Listen, obviously my answers are going to be a little biased.
Yeah, obviously.
For a multitude of reasons.
Right.
But the likelihood of Cincinnati leaving is slim to none. I'm firmly with the, it's a bargaining tactic. I honestly don't think, I think what she said, taken kind of a little out of context.
A little bit. News outlets are running with it.
Yeah. Obviously they're going to. They're stirring the drama. They're stirring that pot up.
I mean, that's what we're doing. We're a terrible football show. We have to stir this.
True. There's not that much news coming out right now, football related anyways, so they will grasp whatever they can and shoot off with it. But yeah, no, I think it's slim to none if they did. You obviously have the go-to towns and cities like St. Louis and Oakland. I wouldn't be surprised if San Antonio was on that list.
Okay.
I know Columbus has been looking for an NFL team as well. So they could just, go 40. They could go an hour and a half north.
Yeah, I bet you would love that, wouldn't you?
No.
What? You wouldn't love that?
No. I don't want Columbus to have an NFL team. It's college town.
Nah, it's time for an NFL team there.
There is no fiscal way an NFL team could make money in Columbus.
Okay,
with
that's fair.
With Ohio State.
Right.
There's just no way. And to be honest, there's no room for a stadium. But yeah, no, it's slim to none. I don't see it. And the joint stadium venture,
So
let's
stupid.
not do that.
That's the dumbest
not.
thing I've ever seen. Because like I looked at that, I'm just like, you do. All
Where
right,
would
so
they put it? Gary, Indiana?
yeah, exactly.
Meet in the middle?
Yeah, you would have to like meet in the middle, right? Because I mean, it's 4 hours away. You're literally going through Indianapolis to get from Cincinnati to Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, where are you putting it? Well, is Cincinnati going to move to Chicago and be like the second Chicago team? Because Chicago is one of the few cities that can maybe have two, whatever. Is that dumb shit going to happen? Is the Bears going to go to Arlington Heights like they want? And maybe Chicago's like, yo, Cincy, you can come use Soldier Field. We'll pimp it out. And maybe have the Chicago Bengals and the Chicago Bears. So stupid. Doesn't that just make you cringe?
Put that city name with that mascot name, man.
Doesn't that just make you cringe? The Chicago Bengals playing at Soldier Field. Oh, the Chicago Bears enjoying a brand new stadium over at Arlington Heights. Think about that for a second.
There's a reason why in the Super Bowl era, the Bengals have been statistically the better team versus the Browns, and as far as the Ohio teams are concerned, because the Browns took off and left. The Bengals are here to stay.
All right. I respect that. I respect that point. Shane, what about you? What's your take on the Bengals situation, this stupid joint venture bullshit that people are suggesting?
I'll be brief with this one. I do not believe at all that Cincinnati is moving at all. I mean, I think everybody thinks that. I think that's not only an us thing. I think that's a worldwide football fandom thing. It's like you said, it's a negotiation tactic, right?
Yeah.
But I will say, if they were to go to St. Louis, I will be their number one fan. I will ditch Seattle and I will ditch Denver, and I will be a St. Louis Bengals fan. I'm telling you right now. But other than that, hey, San Antonio, I'm okay with too, right? Hey. That's always, in my opinion, the better of the three cities. Why not have a team in Texas? Okay, everything's better in Texas.
No, that's debatable, but
I don't think they're going anywhere.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you have the cities like San Antonio. You also have cities like Oklahoma City, who's been wanting one as well. Omaha's been wanting one as well.
Listen, I drove through Oklahoma City. Don't want to go to Oklahoma. Move along.
Yeah, Oklahoma City.
If Omaha got a team and did not name them the Omaha Mannings, what's the point?
Hey, they used to have that one what was the crap league that went Omaha Nighthawks or something? I don't remember the league name though. That was the thing, I think. Omaha Nighthawks. That sounds right.
Sounds pretty cool, but what does that have to do with Nebraska and corn?
You tell me, man. I didn't name the team. You know, it's so funny that we're talking about this, all this, because there's a video idea I got cooking right now that involves this. So I hope you guys are ready. It's a summer project. It's a summer project that's going to lead to a big project later on. So you guys get ready. You've been turning your heads, all right? Turning the wheels up here, buddy. Oh, geez. All right. So before we hit the last topic, which the last main topic, as I said, is non-football related, let's do a wrap up on this topic because Kirito was throwing some jokes out there saying that the Bengals could come down to Alabama. They'd welcome them with open arms. So think about that one.
You guys already have a UFL team.
Yeah. Do they? The Birmingham Iron, is that them?
Birmingham Stallions.
Stallions, that's right. The Iron was the old was that one league that got the AAF, whatever. Yeah, shout out, my bad. The Huntsville Bengals. That's what he's throwing out there. The Huntsville Bengals. Think about that one. Let that one sink in there for a second, buddy.
I don't think the state of Alabama could afford to have an NFL team.
Yeah, I was about to say, no offense, Kirito, but let's be honest. Huntsville can barely handle a community college. Let's not throw an NFL team in.
Okay. Yeah, no, if they would get one, it'd just be in Birmingham. I mean, like I've driven through Alabama a few times going to Florida and stuff, and I've driven through a couple different routes going there and back. So I've been through like the main hot spots, you know what I mean? I've been through the Birminghams. I've been through a lot of the outliers. I've been through the Huntsville. I've been through Auburn. I've been through Tuscaloosa, you know, just driving through whatever, going to Florida. It'd be Birmingham 100%. But also it's just like, you know, in terms of football, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. You will never see an NFL team come to Bama. Never. You will never see it happen. Now, he did throw out there, like, oh, well, he was using Huntsville as the example, possibly wanting some other professional teams. I'll say this. I could totally see one day somewhere down the line, somewhere in Bama, being probably just Birmingham, getting an MLB or NBA team. I could see that happening one day.
Hockey.
But hockey as well, maybe. I could see something like that. But NFL, it will never happen because that is SEC country. That is a college football country. And it's similar to what you're saying about Columbus in terms of that's Ohio State country. That's how I feel about the whole state of Alabama. One of my colleagues with work, he's the area sales manager over in Birmingham. And, he's kind of talked to me and him. We've shot the shit a lot and talked about that. And he's talked about that. Which is like, yeah, it's just this is not an NFL town. This is college football country, and it's like, yeah. So they'll never get an NFL team, but I could totally see Bama getting some other professional teams, 100%. But NFL, nah.
You can take points away from me or give me points for this, but in my opinion, I think Texas will get 3 NFL teams. Florida will get 3 NFL teams before anything is even conversated over Alabama getting an NFL.
All right, so Shane, you lost a point, you gained a point. So there you go.
Okay.
I could see Mississippi and Alabama coming together on some type of joint venture for an NFL team if need be, because neither of them could handle an NFL team by themselves.
All right, listen. I'm going to go ahead and stop this one. As someone who unfortunately was basically a former resident of the state of Shitty Sippy, will never happen.
Oh no, isn't that like the poorest state in the country?
That's okay. There's a joke between me and like my colleagues and bosses and stuff that like the city of Memphis just used to like start over up front is I hate that city with a passion. That's the whole state of Mississippi. All right. Just need to start over. All right. I'm sorry for people in Mississippi. I've been there a lot. All right. A lot. When I'm there Sunday to Friday for 25, 30 weeks straight, and then other times as well. Brother, I'm a former resident. I've seen a lot of shit. All right. I've been around the block a few times in all different parts of the damn state. But hey, shout out to Madison. That is one of the craziest towns I've ever seen in my life. So shout out to that. Crazy.
In a good way.
Yeah, it depends on how you want to take it, but just architecture is insane. Insane. When you have just look up some stores in Madison. Look up the Madison, Mississippi Kroger. Look up the Madison, Mississippi Lowe's, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Look up Madison, Mississippi gas station, and look at the fancy Greek pillars at gas stations, and you'll understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. It's a crazy town. So either way, shout out.
Send me down a rabbit hole that I didn't think I was ever going to in my life.
It's something. All right. Let's hit the last main topic. All right, this is your ultimate time to either gain a lot of points or maybe lose some points. Okay, this is your time to shine. Step up to the platform. Because, boys, while this is a terrible football show, last I checked, we got another terrible show. And it's good to promote that terrible show. Shout out to a terrible wrestling show. We put out an episode before every PLE. We want to do more someday. Hopefully we can. So, boys, it's the road to WrestleMania. It's time to give me your WrestleMania hot takes. Just a couple weeks out now. We had a couple more episodes come out. Some good stuff happened. So give me some wrestling hot takes about what's happened in the world of wrestling. Jacob, what you got?
Just in general in the world of wrestling.
Anything in the world of wrestling. If you want to shout some AEW stuff with Dynasty and how Moxley's reigns maybe going a little too far, if you want to keep it to the road to WrestleMania, give me some hot takes.
AEW had a banger of a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Banger after banger, or in the words of Drew McIntyre, burger after burger.
Burger after burger.
No, overall, that pay-per-view was phenomenal, and it was the first time in quite some time that they had a full stadium for a pay-per-view.
Right.
So, but no, hot take-wise, I'm just still going to go with Gunther is going to squash Jay.
Squash Jay. That is a hot take because dude, Jay's walking out champion. That's a hot take.
I don't think he is.
You don't, man. I'm telling you,
No.
Jay's gonna walk out champion. I'm telling you. I'm giving you. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. Shout
The
to Paul
man
Heyman.
had the Intercontinental title for like 2 seconds. And people are justifying him being a world champion at that point. He got a title and lost it pretty much immediately.
Yeah, he got it for a reason, right? Like we all knew why he got it. It's because you just had to give him that like first title thing because they had bigger plans. They had the bloodlines.
It was
feud.
literally like I don't know. I didn't like the feeling. It was kind of just handing somebody something on a silver platter at that point.
I mean,
Like, they
it kind of
gifted that
was
to him.
because they needed to get the first singles title off his belt. You know, like, oh hey, you got it. Okay, you got a bloodline feud happening. Like they just had to get it done because there was clearly bigger plans. So shout out.
There are people in the bloodline that I think could be better world champions than Jay.
What, like Jacob?
Yep.
I mean, I agree. Jacob's a dog.
And Solo.
Whoa! Oh, now that's a hot take. Oh my lord. Now the question is, did you gain or lose a point from that? Well, we'll decipher.
Good question.
We'll decipher that one at the end. Now that's a hot take. Lord have mercy. All right, I'm gonna put you on the bench, give you a chance to think about more. Shane, you've had a chance to kind of think and ponder your brain a little bit. Give me some hot takes. And if you come at me with that John Cena stuff again like you did last week, I might have to deduct a point. I didn't deduct a point last week. I'm still getting used to this.
There will only be 2 to 3 titles. Oh no, there will be only 2 to 3 titles changing hands.
2 to 3 titles changing hands. And you're talking obviously everything. You're talking tag, main title, women's mid card, everything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I liked it. I like it.
That will be, of course, man, I hate to say it, but John Cena will win his 17th at WrestleMania in front of Ric Flair. I didn't think it was going to happen, but the way the storyline's going, I think they're just going to do it, in my opinion. Second one being the Intercontinental title, and the third being the U.S. title.
Okay. Well, who you got for IC? That's the one I want to know because obviously U.S. it's a one-on-one for now. But where do you think on IC?
Look, I think if it does change hands, it has.
He had to mute. We're coming back.
Yeah,
Here
sorry.
we go.
I think there's only 2 people that can take it.
Okay.
I think it's Dom or Penta. I think Finn. I think you can build a story around Finn not getting it a lot better than you could if he won it.
Okay. All right. I like that because honestly, I'm in the boat. Finn needs to go away after Mania. Like he needs to go away, take a break, go on a vacation, whatever. And he might be that might already be in the works. Who knows? So that way his character can come back and kind of rebuild. You know what I mean? Because he's an ungodly talented worker, but God, his character is Finn Balor. It really is. His character is. There's no pop with his character at all. No one gives a shit. He's got terrible music. We need to get him new music. Go back to his old. He needs a repackage of the character. So I think this is like his swan song of like, all right, guys, I'm heading out for a while. Have fun. And that's kind of my take on it. All right, Jacob, back to you. Give me some more hot takes.
First of all, I think WWE is going to pull what they have been pulling when AEW superstars come over and give the AEW person the title instantly as a kind of a jab at AEW, and they're going to do that with Penta. But overall, wrestling hot take, and this isn't specific for Mania, this isn't anything like that. This is going to be a big one, and I'm going to lose points for this, I'm pretty sure. Randy Orton isn't the one who makes the RKO incredible. It's the person receiving it.
Ooh, that's a take. Because because you're not wrong. That's the thing. You're not wrong. The person taking it is such an important element. But so is Randy's timing. So I'm not going to say it's a 90-10 or an 80-20, but I will agree. I don't know if it's a 50-50. But I don't think it's a big split. I think it's like a 55-45 kind of thing, 60-40. I think it's a pretty even split almost. Because Randy's timing is important. So I mean,
Randy's timing is very important.
I do.
but
I can get behind the idea that the person receiving the RKO is more important. I can get behind that. I like that. Never
I will
thought
come
of
back
it,
with
but
this. I will come back with the hot take that his hot take is not a hot take, because in wrestling, selling the move is what makes 90% of moves look good or bad.
good point.
Let's be honest. Let's be
Good
honest.
point.
If you missell a pedigree, it's gonna look crap. If you missell and
A
somehow mess up
stunner
a
like Vince
GTS,
McMahon.
it's gonna look bad.
Yeah.
Now, given moves like the pedigree is a lot easier to sell than an
Right.
RKO, maybe,
Yeah.
even though they're pretty much the same front bump.
right.
But let's be honest, selling the move is what makes.
Okay. I mean, he's not wrong too. That's also a fair point.
You're not wrong, but not everybody's a good seller. First of all, not everybody can be
agree.
like a Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, or a JD McDonough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
what
No,
a
no.
dog.
Or Ricochet.
I will say on the flip side of that though, the only moves that aren't really on the seller is the moves like the FU. Or no,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, the attitude adjustment. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, like the attitude adjustment,
Yeah.
or
The F5
or the F5, things like that, where you're being picked up. That's more on the person delivering the move than it is.
Yeah. It's
But-
move to move dependent.
Yeah, but I think 90% of the moves that are done, finishers that are done in the WWE or wrestling in general, is on the seller to sell it and take the proper bump while doing that.
I have another hot take.
Okay.
Bret Hart is right in regards to the thigh slaps. As far as super kicks are concerned.
Super kicks, yeah.
Yep, they are unnecessary
Now that's a hot
and
take.
way too over the top.
They can be very
Shawn
over the
Michaels
top.
didn't do it. Why does everybody else have to?
Got to go for the over the top. It's all about the showmanship.
Shawn Michaels is the showman of all showmen, and he didn't even have to do it.
Well, not everyone's Shawn Michaels. That's the thing.
Well, I will also say it's
Bret's better than Shawn.
I will say also, Shawn Michaels, he did do it. He didn't do it as much, but of course he did the thigh slap. Like what? Is that what you're talking about? Because my daughters were talking to me. I'm sorry.
No. What I'm talking about is that I agree with Bret Hart saying that the thigh slaps are unnecessary and over the top.
I disagree.
I also
Because
like that everybody and their mother does a super kick nowadays.
Yeah, it's
no, I will agree with you there. I think if it's not loaded up like a sweet chin music
yeah.
or like what Dolph Ziggler did, I don't think it should be called a super kick. It just should be a side kick, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, out of everybody that's been doing it here lately, I think Jay's and Jimmy's are pretty good. Now they do excessive thigh slapping, but I'm okay with that because they're supposed to sell the pop, right?
Right.
But the thing is, I mean, yeah, everybody and their mother's doing super kicks nowadays, and they come out of nowhere, and they've kind of.
Do they really come out of nowhere though?
Sometimes.
Let's be real here. Do they really come out of nowhere?
I mean, they don't, but like, I mean, you can see it being. I mean, you can see it being set up, right? You can see it being set up, but the thing is, you're like, oh, okay. Cody Rhodes for some reason did a super kick. Cool. All right. Awesome.
Like
But the thing-
everybody was pissed with John Cena having the 5 or 6 moves of doom.
Yep.
Jimmy and Jay do the same shit.
True.
They have a few moves that they do, and that's it.
Yep. It's true.
A splash, a kick, a dive to the outside.
Also, on that topic, I'm tired of people doing spears. Let's get rid of
spears
these
have
horrible
gotten out of
spears.
control.
Just leave it with
Please.
Braun Breaker.
Braun's
No,
great.
Braun Breaker, his spears have been dog shit.
Woo!
I'm
Now
sorry.
That's a
What, did you
take.
not just see the spear he did on Carlito?
Now that's
I mean,
a hot
yeah,
take.
but it was bad. It was, in my opinion, that was a failed attempt. Failed attempt at a spear. Braun Breaker did a front flip.
Fuck yeah, he did.
He did a front flip. What? Are you kidding me?
No,
no, trash, garbage.
Oh God.
He is a Steiner man with Steiner math. Don't disrespect that man.
Garbage. Be better. If you're not
Oh,
edge
God.
level of spearing or Roman Reigns level of spearing, you should not be doing the spear. Period.
Man has a shit spear.
Shit spear. And I will say, even Roman's not even consistent at it. Roman, he's like 50-50 on his spears.
Yeah, Roman sucks at spearing. Not everybody.
Jimmy
can
and
be Rhino
Jay,
with the door.
horrible spears. I don't want to
Theirs
ever
are
see them
bad.
do a spear again.
Theirs are bad.
Bad, horrible,
Yeah,
terrible,
theirs are bad.
awful.
Like, listen, no one can top Goldberg and Rhino as far as spears are concerned.
Edge, greatest spear of all time. I don't care what you say.
I don't know about that, considering it got him injured.
That's also a good point too. That's a good point too.
Again, kind of on the cellar on that one too. Just want to say that too.
All right, so I'm gonna shout out 3 more points here, and we're gonna start wrapping up the show with some quick points here, so you guys can react off this and potentially get more points or lose points. So a couple things that Kirito threw out there. One of them I don't really think is a hot take. One of them I think is pretty fair. The other one I can actually see being a hot take depending on how you want to look at it. So one of that he said throughout there is that John Cena will win his final championship at WrestleMania. That can be a hot take in some cases, but I also think that's writing's kind of on the wall for that. So that's kind of depends on how you want to take it. The other one is also very depending on how you want to take it. Mount Rushmore contender for sure, but this is an interesting one. He said his hot take is that Undertaker is the #1 GOAT in the WWE. That can be a hot take because it depends on how you want to look at it. You know what I mean? He's obviously Mount Rushmore contender. We can all agree to that. But in terms of #1 GOAT in WWE like history, I can hop on board with that. Kirito gets a point. That's a hot take. I can get on board with that because while he would be in the conversation, I feel like a lot of people would probably just say Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that'd be a very correct answer to say. I feel like, Shawn Michaels could be a correct answer. I feel like John Cena could be a correct answer. I'm not going to say The Rock, personally. I'm just not. He wasn't here very long. Fuck him. As much as I can say, fuck this guy, Hulk Hogan is unfortunately an answer. There's a few different answers, so I give that. I can respect that hot take. You guys have any opinions on that?
That he is absolutely correct.
With Undertaker. Okay. All right.
Yes, he is absolutely correct. Based upon a numerous amount of factors: longevity, showmanship, leadership, loyalty to the company.
True.
You can't beat the Undertaker in any of those
I will
aspects.
say the Undertaker, the #1 thing he is by far the GOAT on. There's no contest. Anyone that wants to fight me, fucking fight me. He is by far the best gimmick worker in history. It's not even close.
Oh yeah,
not even close. That's not a hot take. Obviously, that's not. It's just a fact. It's a fact. Anyone that argues that fact, you're an idiot.
That man is the embodiment of kayfabe.
Facts. Shane, what about you? You got any takes on this?
No, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think. Hello?
You're back.
Can you hear me?
You're back.
Okay. I don't think his hot take is a hot take. I would also, if Undertaker for some reason isn't #1, he's top 3 minimum.
That's fair.
Because for everything that Jacob said, right? And not only that, I think when you look in that, you have to look at his fan presence, right? And because of that fan presence, he was able to get his championship.
Yeah.
And he was able to hold the longest WrestleMania winning streak of all time. I don't think anybody would close to that again.
Right. Okay. All right. I can get on board with that.
If we're talking about the streak, I have a hot take as far as that's concerned.
And what's that?
It should have not been Brock Lesnar. I hate that he was the one that got it.
No.
That's
not a hot take. That's not a hot take, though.
I don't think the streak really should have ever been a thing. I'm glad that it was, but I think Kane should have won at WrestleMania 14.
That was a total. Honestly, can we agree that the streak happening was a total accident?
I mean, it was.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
But let's be honest here. I think Shawn Michaels should have won the second time. I think Triple H could have won one of the times that he versed him. So I mean, let's be honest. There's some instances where it could have been broken a lot earlier.
Yeah.
But the fact that they gave it to Brock Lesnar, who wasn't even really loyal to the company and still hasn't been, and still probably will never be.
Hasn't that come out that was an accident though?
No.
That what?
No.
No, that was planned.
It was planned. Are you sure?
It was planned.
100%.
Yes.
But only it's confirmed that only a few people knew about it. I mean,
Well, because Brock's theme song didn't even hit.
I mean, because
Immediately.
no one knew. Like people in the back thought it was an accident. I mean, Undertaker's talked about that on his show before. It's been talked about so much over the years. Yeah, where the only people that knew was like Paul Heyman, Brock, Undertaker, Vince, and maybe like one or two other people. So yeah, like the people running all the cues and stuff, they didn't know. Isn't that crazy? That's wild. That's so
insane.
wild. Being in the moment, it's like, oh, I guess I gotta hit the music. Oh God. No. So one take that I've got, I don't know if it'd be a hot take or not. I mean, with how people kind of perceive this superstar, I could see it being one. But I'm gonna go ahead and hammer out a prediction that's gonna take place with a terrible wrestling show, WrestleMania 41 predictions. Go ahead and lock it in, boys. Bet your mortgage on it. Bianca Belair is gonna win.
Oh,
Bianca Belair
what?
is going to win, and she is the correct winner.
No.
Yep. That she is the correct winner.
No.
And that's
No.
coming from someone who loves Io Sky. Io Sky is incredible. Would love to see her win keep the title and carry
Io's
it on further.
winning.
But I'm telling you up front, there are better storylines to come out of Bianca winning, plus continuing a new streak, because Bianca is undefeated at WrestleMania right now. There's better
I'm in shock.
storylines to come out of it. Bianca Rhea, a Bianca Io storyline, a Bianca Liv storyline, a Bianca Jade storyline, a Bianca Naomi storyline. There is better story potential with her winning the title than Io or Rhea. God forbid, keep Rhea away from it. But Io, I would love it. That'd be awesome. But there's limited storyline potential. There just is. There's more. There's a higher ceiling with Bianca.
I'm just not sold on Bianca.
I'm not
personally
either. But
speaking.
I'm just telling you the facts.
I disagreed with you until you brought up the storylines, because at that point I switched my thing and I completely agree.
Thank you.
Plus, just like Gunther, I want to see how Rhea and Gunther do for a long period of time without a belt around their waist.
Facts. Thank you.
That's my biggest thing. Why I think it could be Bianca, because I think I want to see how Rhea performs without the belt around her for a long period of time, or a decent amount of time, should I say?
I agree. Like I said, I'd love Io to keep the belt, but there's just limited storyline potential. I mean, one interesting thing to see maybe one day was maybe like a Damage Control Fallout, have an Asuka Io feud. That'd be really fucking cool. But it's still just like, you're just like, if Io wins, the only storyline potential you can immediately follow is a more Bianca and Rhea stuff. Maybe a future Damage Control Fallout, but with Bianca, there are so many other possibilities, including obviously the whole Jade thing. There's just a lot more possibilities leading to SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and beyond. So I'm telling you, Bianca Belair gonna win. Lock it in. And I'm not a Bianca fan. I'm not. I'm just storylines, baby. Calling it.
I am a Bianca fan. I think she's gotten a lot better and developed a lot over the last year and a half. But like I said, I completely disagreed with you until you brought up storylines, because I agree. I agree with that. I'm on your side.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You better not have just given him a fucking point for being on your side. I saw you looking at the points.
Hey, but I did bring up the storylines with Rhea. That earns me a point. That's got to earn me a point. Come on now.
Jesus Christ. All right. Let's do some speed run. These are very quick comments that you guys can comment on, potentially get some points. You ready? All right. First one. What you think about Joe Milton coming down to Dallas?
I love it. I think, personally speaking, he could fit very well. I've always been a Joe Milton fan, even in college. I think he was a really good quarterback coming out of the draft, even with the injury and everything. He didn't get, the greatest of opportunities in New England. But I think we might have just found the potential replacement of not having to use a draft pick on a quarterback anytime soon.
That's a good point. That's a good point. He's going to be a good backup since Cooper Rush is no longer there.
Yep.
Let's be honest. The odds No, I don't. Don't get me wrong. Here at ATFS, we don't wish no injury on nobody. We want everybody to be healthy all the way through the year. But history remains history. What are the odds that Dak gets hurt? I don't know, before half the ways through the season, and Joe Milton becomes starter. Let's be honest. You found your replacement. Joe Milton will lead you to the promised land. I've been a Joe Milton fan since out, and I said in his draft class that he was one of the best quarterbacks in that draft class. And the short stint that he was in New England, he showed he can play at this level. Thank you.
Why do you hurt me? Why do you hate me?
I love it. I love it. Jesus.
Dak
Don't
will
get me
be
wrong. By all means, I love Joe Milton, but I
Dak-
can't
Dak
go through
will
another
be-
Dak injury
Dak-
again, man.
Listen, on the
Can't do
bright
it.
side, you will have your starting quarterback in Ohio very soon.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Are you guys buying into the stock that UNC's star running back, Mr. Hampton here, is going to be going first round? That it won't just be Ashton Genty going in the first?
I think there's a potential for 3.
Oh, do you think Cam from Zona State?
Nope.
Oh, who you
He'll
got?
be one of the Buckeyes.
Oh, okay. All right. A little bias
I
there.
think it'll probably be Travion Henderson.
Okay, a little bias there, but all right. I like
No,
it.
legitimately, no bias in that matter at all. I just think Travion has the fit, probably one of the best fits for NFL-ready running back.
Okay, all right. I respect it. Shane, what about you?
I agree with Jacob, but I want to add to it. If these quarterbacks do not go in the first round and they slide a little bit, right? And you start getting towards the end and all of the top 3 running backs are gone, right? Genty's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Hampton's gone. Travion Henderson's gone. Guess what? Not only will you see a 4th running back go, but you will see the 2nd running back from the Ohio State going before the 2nd round ends.
Nice.
This running back class is very deep.
Dude, it's deep. It is. I'm pumped for this running back class. This class is awesome. All right, next thing I've got. Did Woody Johnson forget Wilson's draft year? He recently said, I think Justin's going to be a total winner for us. I've been impressed with him since his college days. It was always Fields or Trevor Lawrence, and I think he's going to be really good. Keep in mind, Fields and Wilson was in the same draft class. Is he just trying to forget the Zachary Milson era, or did he flat out forget that Wilson was part of that draft class?
I think he just wants to forget that he's part of that draft class.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to, just push it to the back of his mind and forget about it.
Oh, God bless. I agree. All right, I got 2 more for you. One, the Jags have taken up the 5th-year option for Trayvon Walker. Is he the most forgettable first overall pick in recent history? Even though he's been a good player, good, not great, but good. He's racked up over 20 sacks in the last 2 years. He's been a fine player. If picking up the 5th-year option makes sense, but in just recent memory, is he the most forgettable first overall pick, especially when you have someone like Aiden Hutchinson right behind him?
I think he has, because I think Aiden Hutchinson has outplayed him. Now, given Aiden Hutchinson, he's been on a better team, don't get me wrong.
Right.
On a better defense, but I think he's not the most forgettable. Not even close. But I think he is overshadowed by for sure.
I mean, I even had to Google it to see. I had to double check and everything. No one really comes to mind as being forgettable up until maybe 2014 with Jadeveon Clowney. Like, he was there for a couple years and then he was gone.
Right.
So yeah, no, I think he is probably the most forgettable
in
recent memory.
I don't think so, but touche.
Who's more forgettable?
I mean, I don't think it's Jadeveon Clowney. When you think of Jadeveon Clowney, you think, oh yeah, he was a pick. I remember that. I think it's the same way with Travion. You may not remember that
I will say
class exactly.
I will say in
but
Clowney's case, he had a great college career, and he was such a dog coming out of high school. And Trayvon's just like, wait, he's the number 1 overall pick? Well, that was random.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple. I mean, let's be honest. Jamarcus Russell went overall.
Well,
so,
that's not forgettable. Let's pump the brakes on that.
Yeah.
I feel like there is probably someone more.
People wish they could forget.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. There's probably someone else more forgettable in there. But again, I guess I forgot him.
No, I really, I can't find anybody. I mean, Jake Long, Matthew Stafford, Sam Bradford, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, Eric Fisher, Javian Clowney.
Eric Fisher's
Jameis
up
Winston.
there, even with the longevity he had. I think he's up there.
I don't see it.
That's one of the
like,
worst draft classes ever. 2013 was god awful.
True, very
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
I mean, and you got studs at quarterback, and Baker, Kyler,
Yeah.
Joe, Trevor.
Yeah.
There's just none of those just seem forgettable to me.
Eric Fisher and Trayvon are probably the two most forgettable, honestly, of the
No,
last like 10
No,
years.
if
10,
you say
15
within
years.
the last 10 years, sure,
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
yeah.
But in the last 20,
even going back to the year 2000, just in the century, Courtney Brown, 2000.
Courtney Brown would probably be the winner. Honestly, if we go to 2000 and now, Courtney Brown's the winner up front. I always forget he was the first overall pick. Because wasn't like McNabb right behind him, or like LT or someone, I can't remember.
Yep, and I mean 2002, David Carr, kind of forgettable.
I wouldn't say that one's forgettable. It's a new team.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't forgettable, but just the pick itself was forgettable.
Well, it's just again, it's memorable because of its new team. It's Houston Texans' new franchise, so that's why that one's memorable. Plus, it helps that he has a brother that's at least a C tier quarterback. So kind of piggybacks off that a little bit. Anyway, last thing I had is there's a former NFL scout that believes the Cardinals regret not taking Malik Neighbors in last year's draft. Well, I guess that's why you're a former scout, but I don't know what's your take on that.
You just said it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's a former scout.
yeah, I think even with us, like a so-called Malik Neighbors, we can all agree probably had a lot better year than Marvin Harrison Jr. did. But let's be honest, again, a lot better team. Well, okay, let me scratch that. Not a lot better team,
But a better team.
But a better team. And he didn't have Smurfette throwing the ball to him. So, I mean, let's be honest here.
Jesus Christ.
Do you think Arizona's almost ready to move on from Kyler?
I think so, but I mean, he's got a fat contract, so you can't.
He does.
Yeah, you kind of can't. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Football birthdays for today. Shout out to CD Lamb in '99, and shout out to former number 1 overall pick, another forgettable number 1 overall pick, Ricky Bell in 1955. I think he was the number 1 pick in '77. So, really throwing it back. Shout out to some football birthdays, and shout out to some merch. Use our referral link down below. Pick up a jersey at Sparky3. Pick up a hat. It's the trash hat of the Sparky3 hat. Or go to sparky3shop.com and get the We Have Hats hat. Buy the B shirt. Thank you. Shout out to the merch.
Warning for earphone users.
I've got it dumbed down a little bit. I don't know if I actually hit the red, honestly.
Your warning came after the fact.
Yeah,
Shane.
exactly. Yeah. All right, boys. You ready to tally things up, wrap up the show, get out of here?
Yes.
All right. Let me see here. Okay. All right. We got something going there. Wait, hang on. No, that's not right. I fucked up on my count. Okay.
Recount.
Yeah, it is actually a recount.
Let's redo the show. Let's
100%,
run it back.
Yeah, 100% run it back. All right. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Are you guys ready? All right, so coming in third place, we have Tyler with 4 points. Yes, he got points. Look,
Let's say you didn't say a word.
all you
Showing
have to do sometimes is make me laugh. And his profile picture changed and made me laugh. So
Okay. all right.
sometimes you just
No
got to
diddy.
make me laugh and you're going to get points. He didn't have to say a word. He walked out with points. All right. And then coming in second place, we have Shane. Sorry, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah. Shane, you lost by 1 point.
The reign of terror is over.
You lost by 1 point. But I will say this. Jacob, you would have lost by 1 point, but Shane made 2 mistakes, unfortunately, so he got 2 points deducted.
What I mess up on?
All right, yeah. So this was an idea that I had where it's like, well, around the horn at the end, they go through like what everyone messed up on, So I was like, all right, I need to start doing that too. One is when we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, you mentioned if he was to be traded, he's a free agent, so that's not possible.
Okay. All right, I'll take that.
The second one is when you made your prediction, and I even mentioned to you at the time, you got a point, you lost a point. Is when you said Texas would have 3 teams. You also said Florida would have 3 teams. They already have 3 teams.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So close. You ended with 38 after the deduction, and Jacob with
Damn.
39. So shout out.
Is there anything that I messed up on?
Yeah, you didn't get a deduction today, and no one got a deduction last week either. Honestly, it's one of those things that like I'm still kind of getting used to this because like last week there's 100% deductions I should have made last week. After listening back, it'll probably be the same thing today. I'll probably re-listen to this and I'll probably be like, I should have deducted this or from Jacob or this from Shane. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. I get it. I got to dip out super quick.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. Have a good night.
Peace.
All right. Well, Jacob, since
He
you're
loses
the
and has to go to be a part-timer.
since you're the winner, do you want to give your winning statement here? Let me hit the music too. We're really going to treat this as the wrap up. Like, it's your winning statement. Jacob, the floor is yours. I think I can go full screen for you. Look at that. Oh. Winning statement.
I did it for the fans. I did it for me. I did it for everybody else on this show. Shane finally lost something. And that's what really, really matters. The reign of terror is over, ladies and gentlemen.
For now.
You're welcome.
For now.
No, I'm going on a streak.
Going on a streak. All right. Next time we have the pending name Flea Flicker going on a streak. Because keep in mind, next week we will be doing the group mock draft. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That'll take up the whole show. Week after that, on Tuesday, we'll be doing our one legitimate solo mock draft that we've got who we think's going where. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, Thursday, come hang out with us for the draft. It's always a great time. I already know for sure Tyler should be here. Everything's locked. He took off work. Everything's set up at the home life. We're all good, which means we get to have our artist once again drawing us beautiful Picasso levels of art to showcase who's getting drafted. Although I've kind of changed up the sniper cam. The former sniper cam is now over here. So what was over here is now up there, but we can still go sniper, but it's not as like, I can't move it all over the place like I can this. But either way, draft's going to be great. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Check out the Patreon, the merch store, and Rogue Energy with their links down below. Have a good one. Goodbye.